Knowing where orders are in the market is a really important aspect of trading with a high edge to your advantage. But that's not always easy to know as retail traders. So in this video, we're going to look at an example, which happens to be from my broker, but it is available in other areas, about how you can get a better sense of where the orders are in the market and understand how price is drawn to certain areas on the price chart and why that is. So let's get into that right now. So welcome back, everyone. This is Forex Breezio. It is 10 p.m. on Thursday, April 7th, 2022. I hope you've been doing well in my absence. I will again try to keep apologizing for my lack of making videos, but something I just wanted to kind of go over with you guys. So, knowing a little bit about order flow in the market is very difficult for retail Forex traders or retail any traders without spending probably thousands of dollars a month, if you can even get the data, because we just don't have access to that the way institutional traders do. And the other thing is the Forex market is pretty decentralized, so any of this type of information that you can get, for the most part, is only reflecting what's coming from your broker. Okay, so that doesn't necessarily represent what's happening across the market. Although, quite honestly, I bet you if you could combine or look at multiple different brokers' order book, that deals mainly with retail traders, you probably would find the numbers are probably not that far off. And I think that's reflected in how price reacts to these levels on my particular broker. Well, it's not my broker that's causing the price to act like this. It's the entire market. So this is what I'm saying, that I do think that you would find that it would be pretty close no matter what. No matter which broker you looked at, if you had this data. Okay, so I happen to use Oanda, which is a broker here in the United States, and they're available to pretty much traders around the world, but they are one of the only handful of legitimate U.S.-based regulated brokers that we have access to here. And I've been with them for quite a few years. I really have had no problem with them. They are a market maker broker, which all the brokers are in this country. And I know everybody loves to, call market makers the boogeyman, but they're really not. They do take the opposite side of your trade for the most part, unlike ECN and STP traders, the brokers that pass your trade on to the actual liquidity in the market. Market maker brokers, for the most part, just take the opposite side of your trade. So if you win, they lose. If you lose, they win. And of course, since the vast majority of retail traders, it's probably 70% to 90% end up losing money. It's a pretty good bet if they take the opposite side of that trade of yours, that they are ultimately going to win, in addition to collecting the spread on the trade. So I'm not going to get into a big discussion on market makers versus non-market makers. But they're not the evil beings that they're made out to be. As long as you're trading with one that's legit and regulated and plays fair, they're perfectly fine. And quite frankly, if you do become a successful, profitable, consistently profitable trader with them, and your account really grows, they do have the option to not take the opposite side of your trade and go ahead and send your trade out into the live market. And that's called, A booking and B booking traders. That's a whole nother discussion. But for the most part, they are going to take the opposite side of your trade because that's what they do. And again, the odds are in their favor. So that's kind of a little sidebar on Oanda and market makers in general. But so what you see on the screen here, guys, is an indicator that they offer certain clients of theirs. It's called the Oanda Order Book. You can see it up here in the corner. It runs as an EA on the chart. You download it from their proprietary indicators, and you can load it onto your chart. And again, it runs as an EA on the chart. Now, it doesn't work on all the pairs. There's about 12 pairs that they allow this EA to run on. So I'm not going to show you all 12, but I will show you a few. And there's a couple of interesting things to note. Now I wanted to show you just two of the settings in this EA so you understand how I have it set up. And I'm going to bring this box over here. Now the only thing that I really look at here is, so it defaults to open orders net. This is how it defaults to open orders net positions. Okay, I don't really find this particularly, now this is really thin on this. This is the Euro Aussie hourly chart, by the way. So I change it, and when I add it to a chart, and I go in and I change it to open positions instead of open orders, and I change it to non-cumulative, which shows me pretty much everything. I hit OK, and then we'll let this thing refresh, and you can see it makes it a little bit more beefy. And what I want you to notice right now is this area inside this blue rectangle I've drawn. And you can see that in this area, this is where, now, so these orange bars that point to the left here represent short positions, and the blue bars represent long positions. Now in this area is where you can see the greatest quantity of both opens and longs that are pretty balanced. Okay, so this, and the longer the bars, the more of these positions there are. Okay, so you know the shorts here are a little bit longer, but for the most part it's pretty well balanced. And you can see, and let me just get rid of this rectangle here for just a moment, if I can get it to turn on here, because it's interfering with the line on this indicator. Well, let me just do this then and get rid of it this way. Okay, there we are. So what you're seeing here is, and this updates about every 5 minutes if you have the premium version, which is what this is, that I get. So anyways, these bars will update, and they don't really change very much, but especially during the Asian session here, things are not really moving all that much. But so this indicator will automatically plot these lines in addition where there's a high number of orders. So you can see, for whatever reason, there's a bunch of long positions way up here. I'm not really understanding that too much. But you can see here, there's some here, and then there's two large areas of short positions here. And lo and behold, look where price is being contained. So for about the last 24 hours, price has not moved outside of this range. And that's also matched up by these bars right here, okay? And the fact of the matter is, guys, is that price is always drawn back to areas on the chart where there's kind of stability and balance in the orders, okay? So when you see a market really trending, it's, you know, yes, that's a great thing, and that's what we want, obviously, as traders. We want to, you know, catch these trends. But ultimately, price is going to find its way back into kind of a balance here on the chart. And you can see exactly what's happening here. The price is locked in because here we have a very large number of longs and shorts fighting here. And it's like, you know, it's like trying to take two magnets and, you know, the positive and negative side of the magnet, and then try to push together the both positive sides or both negative sides. Or it's kind of like a seesaw that's like stuck in the middle, and there's this balance, and so the price just doesn't go anywhere. And so the benefit of knowing this information is to say, well, you know what, I'm not going to trade as long as price is stuck in this range here, and as long as these bars look like this. Now they may change a little bit as the indicator changes, updates, but they're not going to change all that much, at least not, you know, hour to hour, or maybe even from one day to the next. It would take a lot to move this along. And so this is just showing you that there's balance in the market right here. And so if you think every time this thing goes up here, oh, this is going to break out, and then you go long, and then, oh, no, it comes down. And you can see price, you know, took this long, and now it's stuck inside this trailing range, which is clearly shown in these bars. Now, I want to show you something else. This is kind of the web version of this tool. Excuse me 1 second, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. So here's the web version of this tool. Now, it's pretty much showing you the same thing. So let me find That was what, Euro, Aussie, and hopefully this updates. Sometimes I have to log out and log back in again. Okay, there it goes. Okay, so it did. So now what you're looking at here, right over on here, is open position. So this is pretty much the same exact thing we were looking at on my MetaTrader platform right here. And again, you can see this long balance here of these positions. Now over here is open order. So this is open positions, this is open orders. And they're not all that much different, but I like the open positions better because it kind of shows you where price is likely to get pulled into. So you can look at either, but I prefer to look at open positions. Now the nice thing about their online version is there's a lot more pairs to choose from. On the indicator version, the EA, there's only about a dozen pairs they allow you to put this on, but on here it's a lot more, and there's a lot of weird pairs on here that I don't trade. A lot of exotics, but there are more, definitely more options here to put this indicator. But I do like it on the MetaTrader chart because it's a little bit more bold and in your face. As you can see, it's just easier to look at, in my opinion. It does clutter up your chart, but you can easily remove it. I just go in here and, you know, if I want to take it off, I just hit remove, and then if I want to put it back, I can just drag it back onto the chart. So looking, guys, I'm not here trying to sell Oanda. This type of thing is probably available on a lot of different brokers, and there might even be some other indicator that you can buy or get that does the same thing. Oanda just happens to offer this, but I do believe other brokers offer this too. But the point of it is to show you this what happens to price getting pulled into these areas here, which clearly represent balance in the market, and understand that price is not going to move out of this area without a catalyst, and there's absolutely no reason to try to trade this. So you think, you know, I'm being clever here, and price gets up here, you start to see it move. Oh, look, I'm going to catch the next move down. Well, you're probably not going to, because as you can see, price is locked inside this range. And because of these, again, we have a balance of buys, of longs and shorts here. You can see just even recently, in this last hourly candle, price kind of drifted back down. Now you see we get a green candle form at the bottom of this range again. Now I suppose if you could say you wanted to range trade it, you could go down to a really short time frame and trade these bounces in here. I'm not interested in that. I'll wait on this thing until eventually it will break out. When it breaks out, I'm not exactly sure. Could be tomorrow, could be tonight, could be next week. I don't know, but I'll keep an eye on it. So let's just look at a couple of other ones. Euro Yen is another one that this trades, that this runs on. And you can see Euro Yen, the range is a little bit bigger here because we basically go from this big blue bar down into this area here. And you can see that is about where price is holding. You can see this range right here. And if you look at these orange bars to the left, it does break below these orange lines that the indicator draws. But there is an imbalance. There is a balance of price here in this area. But I'm more prone to this one potentially going down. But this one's not quite as clear. So let's keep going here. Here is Aussie Yen. And this thing should adjust a little bit. Yep, there we go. And it's really a little bit tough here because they have all this writing that they put on the indicator. But again, you can see this balance right here where you've got these blue bars and orange bars kind of right opposite each other. And again, I have this rectangular box drawn, and I guess you can see the candles in here. Okay, here it is. I'll just zoom in a little bit and look at this, just stuck in this range because we have this big balance of longs and shorts. They're not exactly lined up with each other, but again, this is a pretty tight range. This is only a 1 hour chart. And this is a tight range, and this is why this is not moving, because the price is locked in this battle between these longs and shorts in this really in this range here, where you have a lot of open positions, you know, kind of fighting with each other. So until something can break through there, this is going to continue. But again, I won't trade this pair while it's sitting inside this range. Okay, dollar yen actually looks very similar. Okay. You can see dollar yen. Okay, here's the orange line. this one's a little deceiving because the shorts don't look that big, but these orange lines draw on the indicator when it's picking up a lot of shorts. So even though it looks like there's a lot more long positions here, it's not necessarily the case. You can see that price did move here. We had this little false breakout. We fell right back into the range again, essentially staying inside of these upper and lower boundaries here. So again, until this breaks out and takes out the swings, the range of this box, I'm not interested in trading this. Again, I can go to the dollar Canadian. Now the dollar Canadian, technically the range is all the way in between here because you've got orange lines here and blue lines here. But if you want to really focus in right now, it's inside of this area because you can see the blue and the orange is operating right inside of this range here. And you can see price has been stuck in here for a while. But theoretically the range on this one is in between both these, which is quite a bit bigger, but you can see it was range trading here. But this is a pretty big range. I think I measured it before. It's like 120 pips. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's exactly 120 pip range. So, you know, whether you want to say this is the range here or if it's this entire thing, you know, still we've got a battle going on right here. And you can see what happens. Well, let's go back to Aussie Yen for a minute. And let's zoom back out here. Yeah. So you can see on the way up here, on this uptrend all the way up here, look at these. I want you to notice something here. Look at all of these sell positions. So these are retail traders and people just on the wrong side of the market, thinking that all along here they're gonna pick a top here, pick a top, and they short positions, look at how few long positions there are all the way up here. So this is the smart money pushing this thing up. And then you have the retail market thinking, oh, I'm going to pick a top here and we're going to take this thing short. And all these people were losing money, okay? And now, and you can see all the way up how little of the blue there was on this pair. But look how far it went. And that started all the way back here, okay? So it's very interesting to notice how, you know, this is why retail traders lose so much money, because they're not respecting the trend and they're trying to pick tops. And really the place where you should have exited this trade is where you really saw this balance between the highs, between the longs and the shorts. And here, this is where you would have exited this. Now it did go a little further and then it came back. But if you happen to be long in here, I'm not sure what these lines look like at the time. Again, this does update. But I bet you this area in here still would have been an area of interest at the time. So it's just really interesting to note that. Okay. We can look at a couple of other pairs. Trying to remember which else this runs on. Euro dollar. Okay, so here we are on euro dollar. So again, you can see the meat of it here. We've got a blue line and some orange lines. You can see this is the widest area, and sure enough, look where price is stuck inside this range. It has not moved at all. And this has really been, since it came into this range, more than 2 days. It's 56 1-hour candles. So this is for more than 2 days. This has not done anything. One little false breakout right here that maybe fooled some people. But the very next candle, it came right back into the range again. And this is why. We have a balance of longs and shorts inside this range. And so until that changes, you know, this is not going to change. Okay, this range is going to continue. Now, obviously, there will be a catalyst to break this out, to break out of this, but it's not right now. Here we are on the pound versus the yen, another one. Again, look here. All right, look how wide these bars are, and they're right on top of each other. And look at where the price is stuck right inside this range, because there is a balance right in here. And so this is not an area you want to trade. And you know, you don't want to get fooled to think, okay, here comes the downtrend's going to continue. I'm going to go short right here. Oh no, you're wrong. Oh, it gets down here. Okay, it's going to break out to the upside. Nope, it didn't. And you can see now we've actually moved outside of this box. But the rectangle drew, but the price is still locked in this range. So again, until this changes, you know, it's just going to stay like this, okay? And so I can keep going and showing you more of these guys. They pretty much all look like that. So the point of the video, guys, is just to remind you again, it's very important to know if you can try to get information like this. Again, even though it might only be specific to your broker, I think it probably does represent the market as a whole, because again, the price respects it. This price is the price no matter what broker chart you're looking at. No matter what broker chart you're looking at, this is what the price is and what it's going to look like on any platform of the pound versus the yen on the 1 hour chart. This is what it's going to look like. It doesn't matter that it happens to be my broker. Okay, so that's why I'm saying this data over here, if you could take this, you know, EA and put it on another broker's platform, probably wouldn't look all that much different. You know, there'll be some variation, obviously, depending on the mix of their traders. But for the most part, these retail brokers, probably pretty much the same. But again, this is only pulling from my broker because, again, the Forex market is decentralized and there's no way that they can pull this data from the market. It's coming from Oanda, and they tell you that this is from, you know, their order book. Sorry, guys, I'm drinking my tea. And that's why they call it Oanda order book. So this is only their order book. Okay, and again, guys, I could go on their website and pull up that pair or several other ones. Again, a lot of these I don't trade. There's some, you know, really bizarre pairs in here. I don't even know what THB is, but you know, but I'm not trading it. This is the African ZAR. I don't know what TRY is, THB, SGD. This is the Swedish krona. I don't know what PLN is, the Norwegian, Mexican peso, you know. So anyways, doesn't matter. But there are quite a few on here. So, and I can look at the same data. So if there is a pair that I want to look at that's not offered on the EA, or I just want another view, then I'll come to this website and check it out. And this does refresh itself, or you can refresh it. And so the data is never more than about 3 minutes old when it refreshes, or you can refresh it yourself, and I can see the latest. And again, here's the Euro Aussie I showed you before, pretty well balanced. So that's really what I want to show you guys, just the importance of order flow and knowing where orders are sitting in the market, because it'll keep you potentially out of a trade that is not going to go anywhere because of this balance in the market. And as I said, guys, price is drawn to these areas. So you listen to, like, the other thing I want to mention is supply and demand traders. If you listen to, like, real good supply and demand guys, and there's a lot of garbage on supply and demand, and I do follow it a little bit. I'm not a huge supply and demand follower, but I will tell you that the really good ones will tell you that, you know, price runs out to extremes on the chart, and it tends to pull itself back towards, you know, kind of that balanced area in the what they call the, you know, the area in the middle. And this is what we see here, right? So price kind of ran up, hit a new extreme, it's kind of pulled back, and this is kind of the balance area right now. This is where the market considers that, okay, the prices were pretty good here. There is a lot of trading going on in this area. That's why these bars are so big. There's a lot of trading going on here, but it's very well balanced, and so the market doesn't move. It's just going up and down, and that's what it's doing. So until it breaks out of here, then, you know, we'll see where it goes. But they're good target areas to look at too. Again, if you were in this long position back here and you started to see these areas set up with these really wide bars, those would be areas that you'd be looking to, you know, exit the position. And, you know, because price is going to get stuck in this area, and that's what happened. It did blow through it a little bit for, you know, basically 2 hours. This is, again, an hourly chart for a couple of candles. But you can see it came right back down. Then it went through it, and now basically it's stuck inside this range. And, you know, the indicator has drawn the range inside of these blue bars here and the orange here. And so that is the wider range. You can see it's holding in here really nice. But if you want to hyper focus, the actual area of consolidation is right in here, as reflected by all these bars. Okay, So if you wanted to be a really conservative trader on this pair, you say, well, I'm not going to trade it again until it trades out of this range up here or down here. Then I would maybe consider trading it again. If you wanted to be a more aggressive trader, then you could look to trade it out of this zone right here. But this is the actual range in between this area and this area. The indicator is telling you that there's a lot of activity right in here, but it's very well balanced. It's just that the majority of it is right here. But all the way through here, it's pretty well balanced too. So as you can see, price stuck inside this big trading range. Okay, so again, it's a little bit of order flow, a little bit of supply and demand, and just open positioning, and just kind of giving you a little bit better feeling about where the market is right now, and give you pairs that maybe you should stay away from at the moment because they are balanced and price has been pulled back into those areas. Not necessarily a good place to trade it at the moment. So anyways, guys, I would maybe check with your broker, see if they have anything like this. Again, there's not an advertisement for Oanda. I get nothing from them. I'm just telling you this is where I see it, but I do think you probably can get this elsewhere. But if you can find something like this, it's a great thing, and it really keeps you from guessing whether an area on the chart is just a temporary pause in price or whether there's really a balance of buyers and sellers, and you're just going to get whipsawed in between here if you try to think you're going to jump the gun and second guess it. So anyways, guys, I will leave it there. I hope you got something out of this. Just give you some food for thought when looking at your analysis. And this is real trading volume in the market. So all right, and I hope you guys are doing well, and please leave a comment, question, concern down below. Is there anything else you want to know? I'm happy to address it. Hit that like button. If you're just finding the channel for the first time, hit that subscribe down in the lower right hand corner, and I hope to talk to you guys again very soon. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.